other way around. Okay? As far as the play caller, like I said, we went from, Darryl came on as the offensive line coach. We were in the bottom 10 numerically in the country in rushing. The next year, we led the NESCAC average over 275 yards a game with the same kids. We had drop back, pass kids running pistol triple option. I mean, come on guys, that's, trying to build a bridge with Legos. Okay, and just another, I mentioned Kempy's talk. 2 years after that, we led the nation in turnover margin. We had 32 takeaways. There's that guy in the back of the room. And we're running triple option. We had 8 turnovers. Fellas, do the freaking math. I'm not dropping that bomb because I know Darryl will. That's 1 turnover a game, pitching the ball and reading every single snap. Okay? So, we took an offense that was not very good to one that was one of the best in the NESCAC. And again, he's a great dude, a lot of fun. I go to the office every day with a smile on my face because those 2 guys right there, Coach Weiss, they're all yours.
All right.
Coach Weston, don't fuck this up. I apologize. I dropped an up ball.
That's not that far. So, like Skip said, I coached with him for a bunch of years. I left there, I went to RPI as the offense coordinator there. After my first year, Dr. Jackson sat us down and said, fellas, look out the window. I built a $200 million athletic facility. I didn't build it so you freaking people, she didn't say freaking, she said so you guys could go 6 and 5. I can find anyone to do that. You better win. And she walked out of the room, right? She's on President Obama's Nuclear Regulatory Commission at the time, so she's a pretty powerful person. I think she means what she says what she means. So everybody in the room's ass is puckered up. I jump up and go, that was fucking awesome, man! Let's go! Right? Because now it's all about recruiting. So we got lucky, had some good players. We went out and got some more good players. And Ryan, I'm gonna die. This says no internet. Anyway, we go 9-2 the next year, which afforded me the opportunity to become a head college coach, start my own program in my hometown at a small Catholic college. And there was a limit of 65 recruits. So we took the field for our first inaugural game 19 months later with 65 kids on the team. So at a 47% discount rate, those kids were paying about $30,000 a year per kid. And I brought in probably about, I don't know what that works out to because I'm not a math or science guy, but it's a lot of fucking money to the institution. And they tried to put me on a yellow school bus for my first college football game away. So we had a disagreement and Coach Weiss moved on after the first season where we did win a game in our inaugural season. You gotta go to, what am I gonna do this? How do I show a presentation? Help me out. Sam, someone. Anyway, so here I am. Oh my God, I made the worst move of my career. I go back to the public high school in my hometown where I started 25 years before as a young assistant coach. I became the offensive line coach for a bunch of guys that I coached when they were in high school. It was the best 4 years of my career, right? Because we sucked. This is a tradition, the Caldwell way. Once a chief, always a chief. But this formula right here was taught to me 30 years ago by Ken Trimmer, Vic Paternostro, and John Finnegan. Right? 3 coaches that are influential in my life when I was a young guy. And we stayed the course. So that's how I think about the game. So we stayed the course, and 2 years away from standing in Giant Stadium undefeated, we were 1-9, and we got beaten in the consolation game 68-0 by a team that did not throw a forward pass. We walked off the field after that game, and all the freshmen and sophomores that we played in that game, because we had had enough of our seniors by that time, because they were literally working against us. The freshmen and sophomores said, "Coach, that's never going to happen." The next year we went 6-3. In the COVID year, there were no playoffs because we stayed the course. The first part of the course was get in the fucking weight room and lift weights. Bigger, faster, stronger. If you don't do that, you can't win. All this shit don't matter. If the kids don't buy in, I'll tell you how to get buy-in, but if they don't go and do it, you can talk about it all day. And then the following season, New Jersey had the Super Football Conference, right? They go to Giant Stadium for a big media day. There's 335 schools that play high school football in New Jersey. And they asked our team captain, Peter Murray, they say, Peter, what's your plan for the season? He says, I don't plan, I'm losing. And that's the last time Caldwell ever lost since that day. Has not lost a football game since that day. Went 12-0 in 2021. They went 13-0 in 2022. They're obviously, those kids are revered as the greatest football teams in school history. Now, out of those classes, you know, you got some great players, right? You got 2 kids who are scholarship kids going to Monmouth University in New Jersey. You got a ton of Division III kids. But what you got more than anything is kids that followed the program. They followed everything we asked them to do. They did to the best of their ability. The one thing I tell my guys, I refuse to teach you how to compete. You have to learn how to challenge yourself, right? I don't coach boys, I create men. And if you want to play the offensive line for me and be on this side of the ball and be with the toughest dudes in the business, you got to be a goddamn man. I don't care if you're 14 or 21 when I was coaching Ryan, right? So where do you start developing the program? Right here with yourself, right? You got to look in. I know what I believe in, right? Skip knows what I believe in because it's pretty simple, right? I know my 3rd and 4 play, it's triple. I know my 4th and 1 play, it's triple. I know my 1st and 10 play, it's triple. I know my 1st and 15 play when some dipshit goes off sides or somebody lines up in the neutral zone, it's triple, right? And if I'm not sure about the play call, it's triple, right? And I'll give you the signals, I give you the blocking scheme, go ahead and stop it. Because when we executed 60%, we win the fucking football game. Can't run the option because you fumble too much. Led the country in turnover margin. Put the ball on the ground between interceptions and fumbles 8 times in 8 games. Kempy got us 4,000 turnovers on defense. It's easy to score when you get the ball 2 or 3 extra times a game. So, know yourself, right? And then to your assistants, your program, and your community. Everyone outside of the room when you are in a football meeting is not in your program. They are supplemental to your program. Circle the wagons. Keep the family tight, all those kinds of things. The kids in Caldwell, if you said the craziest shit in a meeting, you know where it stayed in the meeting? It stayed in the meeting. Now, I'm smart enough in my part of my career, I lightened up when I started coaching 14 to 18-year-olds, okay? Ryan will tell you probably not so much when I was coaching 18 to 22-year-olds, okay? So, you've got to get trust out of these guys. And how do you do that? As the head coach, you got to be at everything. Well, I want my kids to lift, but I don't want to go to the weight room. I'll have one of my assistants do that. Well, expect that effort on Friday night, right? So, what's my coaching philosophy? What's your coaching philosophy, right? That's pretty much it. The t-shirts at the elementary school where I'm the principal, on the back it says Dominate the Day, and on the front it says Harmony Township School, we not me, right? I'm the principal for 35 women. That's a difficult concept for women to understand. Not me, they're the most self-centered humans on the planet, but we won't say that because I'm a nice guy now. All right, chase perfection, achieve excellence. Be responsible for everything in your organization, right? I don't know how to go back. I didn't mean that. But anyway, Ryan, you're the best. You should just sit there and do the goddamn thing for me because I don't know how to do it. All right? This is truly my philosophy. Right here. If one thing here, this is it. I don't ever want to be the smartest guy in the room. I just want to be the guy that wins. Right? Because I go to clinics and I sit there and this fucking guy's talking about stem 1 to 2, inside read, flat defender. We're spinning and we're bluffing and we're jockeying and we're this. And I'm sitting there saying, you can fucking say all that shit. If you only play with 11 and I only block 9, I got 2 guys free to read off. If I'm 60%, I win. That's my philosophy. Don't be the smartest guy in the room, be the guy that wins. If you think I'm arrogant now, you should have seen me when I was on top of the hill at Bates, right? So, Caldwell football. I think it's important to have a mission statement. This is a mission statement Ken Trimmer taught me in 1991. I used it when I was a head coach at Rockland. I used it when I was a head coach at Westbrook for 9 months. I used it at Bates. I used it at RPI. I used it at Caldwell University. Used it again at Caldwell High School. Didn't even need to change it. Right? We're a football program that strives for scholarship, leadership, sportsmanship, community-minded young men. Men, through the game of football. Unwavering commitment, best in the classroom, on the field and in the community. There it is, right? 1-9, 6-3 COVID year, 12-0. This year they were 13-0. So the kids who are now rising seniors never lost a football game. Right? The sophomores were 12-0, then they were 13-0. The Mike linebacker at that school right now is being recruited by, other than like the Power 5 conferences, this kid's a scholarship kid. Now I'll talk to you about his commitment. Julian Casale is 6'1", 245 pounds. He runs probably a 4.65, no bullshit. He's a fucking gazelle. Throws a baseball 90 miles an hour. True story. Hits home runs. He's fucking Superman. He's one of the best athletes I've ever seen. He's the most humble kid in the world. He's a straight A student. He's up at 5 a.m. He goes into his garage. He lifts for 45 minutes. At 5:45, he goes to his kitchen table. They have one bathroom in the house. His mother gets ready for work. He eats breakfast. He goes in and showers. His mother puts him in the car at 7:15. He goes to the library at the school from 7:25 to 8:05 and does his homework and studies for his AP classes, his AP tests. Then he goes and crushes the classroom all day. Then he goes to the team lift after that. And then he goes to practice. And he's the hardest practicing kid, probably one of the hardest practicing guys I've ever seen. He understands the definition of compete because he's not competing against anyone else but the man he sees in the mirror every freaking morning. And it's impressive to meet a 15, 16-year-old kid with that level of dominance, right? So the three non-negotiables in kind of like my vision statement. No coach is ever going to get in the way of your faith in your family. You got a family commitment, and I'm not talking my little sister's 7th birthday party, so I'm not coming to practice on a Tuesday because we're going to Chuck E. Cheese. I'm talking real stuff. Mom, dad, sick, that kind of stuff. Your academics has got to come first. That's only because Weston taught me that when I was at Bates. All right? And then team and community. Right? As the head coach, you got to be loyal to your team and you got to build your community. Right? And we all know about parents clubs. Best friend, worst enemy, all in one. All right? Every guy in your program should have a job description. And the more detail you put in your job description for your assistants, the more detail you should have in yours. So these are just some of the things I like to talk about. As a head coach, you're the face of the program, right? We win the sectional championship in 2021, and it's nip and tuck for 3 quarters, and then in the 4th quarter, we become Caldwell, and the other team becomes whoever the hell they were, and we smash them. And we get every guy in, and one kid don't get in. It's an oversight. It's a complete oversight. A mother goes after one of the assistant coaches who doesn't know enough to keep his mouth shut and say, go see the head coach. He says something offhanded to her. We're 10-0 at the time, just won the sectional championship, and now we got a fucking grenade rolling in the room that's about to go off. Right? Because he goes at her with some language that I'm using in here that you don't use with parents in public. Bitch word and the F-you and the da-da-da-da. Rather than saying, I don't know, ma'am, it's, you got to see that guy. See the white-haired guy over there, Coach Lamont, the head coach. But no one told him that. So he thought he was defending. Now, I'd like to say he's under 30, but he was a little older than that, but he screwed up, right? Captain his ship, every detail, set the overall course. You lay the expectations. You let a kid not touch the line today, 5 of them won't touch it tomorrow, nobody will touch it by Thursday, right? Team philosophy, coach, player, discipline, this is all stuff as the head coach you got to be looking at year-round, right? 1% better daily, dominate the day. You got to reflect after every single practice. When all them dudes go home and they're with their wives and kids, I'm sitting in my office thinking this year, what can I do better? Right? In-season job description for assistant coaches. What offensive and defensive positions are you going to coach? Right? If you got a large staff and you can afford to have guys on one side of the ball, do it. Define practice expectations. Right? If I know that I got a 10-minute indie period, I want to have 15 to 20 minutes of material just in case one of the receivers coaches and the quarterback's coach that wears a visor and sunglasses aggravates the shit out of me and decides that they want to play 7-on-7 touch football for an extra 5 minutes. Because it happens in high school football, right? So set the expectations, define practice expectations in detail for the coaches. I expect that if we have a 10-minute drill period, you got 20 minutes of drills ready to go. You don't need to invent new drills every day. Have 5 great ones and work the shit out of them. Your individual drills.
Who would?
All right, this took me a long time to understand. My individual drills as an assistant football coach at Caldwell High School, after we got done game planning, I would say to our offense coordinator, how many times are we looking to throw the ball this week? He'd say 15 to 18, okay? How many times are we looking to run? 60, okay? 60 times run, I'd figure out the percentages. I'd say, all right, I'm gonna spend 80% of my individual time working on run game. I'm gonna spend 20% on pass game, pass sets, right? Because pass setting's sexy, right? You kick your feet, you bend your knees, you look good, you get a flat back, it hurts guys' calves, it hurts their quads. But if you ain't gonna do it, why practice? So match your practice, your individual practice, to the coordinator's game plan, all right? Define the game responsibilities, right? Now, I had a young a young head coach say, Coach, I'm going to throw you a softball. I want to ask this question because I'm going to clinic a staff while I'm up here too. He says, can you help me? Because there's too many times during the game I say, hey, what did the backside say? What was backside safety reading? The guy says to me, Coach, I don't know, I was watching the ball. Well, shit, man, right? Define it for those guys. Your ass better be watching it, but we got 2 wide receivers coaches, a front side receivers coach, and a backside receivers coach. They better be watching how the coverage rotates. I don't need them telling me that the center didn't snap the ball on the right cadence or whatever the shit they're watching. Or right hash, 3rd and 4. I got eyes, man, I can see that. Shut up. Give me information I can use, right? So define in-game what their responsibilities are. On 3rd down, who's yelling, hey, punt the box, punt ready. Hey, where's Weiss? No, he's down there talking to the distributor. Ryan, get over here, come here. This ain't Snapchat at base in 2010. Oh, snap, you're married. This guy's the fucking greatest guy in the world. What an old man lived through. It was like living through college a second time with Weston. It was awesome. Coordinators, efficiency reports. Here's one I learned. Geez, we ran jet twice for plus 47 yards. We only ran it twice, and we lost fucking 31-30. Hey, jackwagon, run fucking jet 30 times. Do you know what I'm saying? If something works, don't get away from it. The greatest signal in the world that I've learned in my career is this. Whole team looks over, your arms are crossed, they know shit. We better run that same play again. That must be same play for Coach Weiss. Coach Capone's is this. Run it again. Right? I don't even like moving. I'll fucking stand there like this with a cup of coffee and beat your ass. All right? Grade every player on every snap that they're in the game. Because the kid who gets in the game in the 4th quarter as a 10th grader when you're in a blowout is your starter next year, or he's rotating in next year, so give him a grade. Hey, you only played 5 snaps. You graded out at 40%. So you did right on 2 plays, you shit the bed on 3. We gotta fix that. We gotta flip it the other way. Next week I want you to get 60. All right, out of season, exit meetings. The first person you exit meetings with is your coaches. What is their professional improvement plan, their goals, their aspirations, right? Because every one of them thinks they can do your job better than you if you're the head coach, right? And any guy who tells you they don't want to be a head coach, you don't want them on your staff anyway because they don't have any goals, all right? Strength and conditioning role. Hey, coach, I can be there on Mondays. I can be there if you're lifting 5 days a week or doing strength training 5 days a week, your assistant's got to be there at least once. I know you're a mailman, but you got to get there on Thursdays. Academic tracking should go right until the kid walks down the aisle at graduation. You get to stand up and clap when they got that little funny board on their head. All right? Clinics and college staffs, this is one of the things when I first started, I was afraid to ask. Right? I always wondered how college coaches all spoke the same verbiage. It's because you spend 4,000 hours with each other, so it's easy to do. Right? So ask that question. Pick up the phone. There are a ton of guys that will give you anything they want, anything you want from them. Right? Do me one favor, when you do visit a college staff, don't be smarter than the coaches that are clinicking you. Because I saw our head coach put the whiteboard down and sit down and say, go ahead, you clinic us, because you asked me, you asked to come up here, right? And now you're telling me how to run the fucking defense that you asked me to show you how to run, so you must know more than I will. So it wasn't me, I swear to God. It was actually someone that's a very respectful gentleman. All right? Overall football systems philosophy, right? Run our systems. Try to run a system that gives you the best chance to beat the best teams on your schedule. Don't just run what you run because this is what we run. If you don't have the personnel, a la Bates, right? We're running 5-7 step inside outside zone. Well, guess what? We got the 9th best quarterback in the league, the 9th best running back in the league, the 9th best receiver, the 9th best slot receiver. This guy came in as a tight end in that style offense, right? Well, guess what? He was there as a freshman, he caught a touchdown pass, and then the one and only person that could convince him to be an offensive lineman for the next 3 years was me. And he said, I'll do it. I hate it, but I'll do it. And then he's a 2-time NESCAC offensive tackle, right? Because he understood what it was to put the team before himself. And we didn't have any tight ends in my offense, so he was kind of fucked. And Ryan can tell you, he wasn't a guy that you had to have a conversation with and say, well, listen, if you ain't going to buy in, go play Frisbee with those other idiots on the other side of Bates's campus with the rest of them guys that are going to sit on the plastic grass till we go out there and turn it into a football field. Right? He was all in the second it happened. Right? So pick a system that's balanced, sound, has multiple answers, and is multidimensional. One of the things I would tell you is if you're playing against a balanced defense, go unbalanced. If have simple to install, learn and execute, return on your investment, common terms. This is right from Kennedy, right? He talks about tackling as put the screws of your helmet in his throat, rise, hit on the rise, and all this other stuff. Well, I took that and said, if he's saying that to the defense about tackling, I'm going to tell the offensive lineman, put the screws of my helmet in their throat, because now I know I'm lower, rather than saying, get your hips down, da-da-da. Use verbiage that kids understand, all right? And then offense, defense, and special teams need to match. Unpredictable but sound, right? The 3-3 stack, the gun triple, and the special teams package that we were running when I was at Bates, and then when I was at RPI, it was the same thing. They matched each other. No one ran the 3-3 stack when we ran it. No one ran gun triple. They didn't even know what the hell we were doing. Right? He's got guys walking all over the place doing this, coming up, and then they blitz from over there and hit him in the teeth. Right? He told the story in his presentation. We were playing Hamilton. They're on like their own 5 coming out at our place, and he calls graveyard, which is 11 dudes doing this shit. And the quarterback, the clock's running down, the play clock, and he's like, hey, what? Check, 52. No. Check 9, check. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Said hit. He catches a snap, about 4 guys hit him, the ball goes flying, we fall on a freebie in the end zone. Right? It matched what we were doing on offense. Our offense was unpredictable as shit too. Oh, well, coach, you guys are easy. We just defend from A gap to the sideline. Okay, go ahead and do that. Yeah, you're the first fucking guy who ever told me that. Oh, whatever way the quarterback goes, that's the way the ball goes. Oh, really? Oh, shit, look at that. He went that way. So have answers, be balanced, be sound, be unpredictable. Offensive philosophy, communication system. I'm a no-huddle guy. I love no-huddle. Be an expert, have checks, be balanced, and ensure that everyone's on the same page. Right? So, there were times, and I remember this distinctly, at Tufts University, I'm yelling, right? Because it's not like we're in the SEC. The players can actually hear you at an SBAC game. Okay? So I'm like, hey, check. These guys are all... And I'm like, Arizona State, rocket, Arizona State. And they're yelling, it's triple right. And we fucking throw a slant. Okay, first down, right? And then we come out and I'm yelling rocket as just bullshit. All rocket means is right. Yeah, laser left, rocket right. Smart guy, right? But it twisted them up because now they think we're running slants. So now the outside backer who I want to pitch off of is playing a fucking slant and I'm running triple. Right? You even remember that? You're over there going, well, you're a fucking smart guy. You got a good memory. Right? I learned this from Steve Adazio at a clinic in Union County during a snowstorm. He was the only speaker that spoke up, that showed up at this clinic. I paid $35 to go to the Union County Coaches Clinic in New Jersey. I was 24 years old. And Steve Adazio was the assistant offensive line coach at Syracuse. And he came in, their freeze option, Paul Pasqualoni, and he said the one thing we're good at is we don't dabble. We believe in our system works, we have answers, it's sound, it's unpredictable. So I picked that up, and he said, and this is me, right? Like, I don't marry anything, or I don't date anything, I marry it, right? So like, oh, well, you're an option guy. Well, I was at fucking Bates, guys. If I was at Williams, I'd run inside zone fucking 25 times because I got the best players in the league. I got the best quarterback in the league. I got a wide receiver who's in fucking camp with the Green Bay Packers versus Bates. Let's go. I can coach fucking smash, right? Oh, read the corner. Like, come on. So know where you're at. Pick the system that's right for your kids. Not the system that you think is sexy, the one that's going to work, right? Make decisions during game planning, not on Friday nights. Completely separate presentation that I have that I can share. If you take every situation that's going to occur in a game, and you take it from Friday night after the game, you grade, you break down the film, you do what you do on Saturday with the kids, and you start game planning, by Monday, when I hit the field, my shit was done. This guy be over there in a closet with film on because he's a defensive guy, right? They got to react to what might happen. He's a what-if guy. I'm ahead. I know what I'm doing. I don't give a shit what you do because I got answers for all of it. See you later. I'm going to get a sandwich and play racquetball, right? So, but do it in advance. So then your call sheet, because nothing looks good when it's 3rd and 9 and there's 1:52 left and you got 1 timeout left and you're down 4. So you know you got to score. You're going like this. Oh shit. Maybe if I hold it upside down and change languages, it'll be funny. I'll find the right call. Know the shit on Monday, right? I learned that, I gotta be honest with you, I learned that when I was at RPI because I was 7,000 feet from the stadium, so all the fucking screaming I did in the booth didn't matter. There's freaking glass, thank God. Okay? There's glass up there, and I'm like, it was like watching a video game. The field's all the way down there. I was like, oh, that's easy. Go Tiger personnel. Da, da, da. That's why those guys are calm. Those guys at big time college and pros, that's why they're calm. Their shit's done. There's no, oh, geez, should we go for it? They decided on Monday. So now it's Saturday and there's 100,000 people sitting in the stadium and they got the call. Make sure decisions during game planning, cut out the emotion, best call for the situation. What's the risk versus the reward? What I mean is, hey, I'm at Bates, it's 4th and 1. What's my 4th and 1 call, everybody? Triple, wrong. I'm going to go 5 wide empty and run QB draw, right? The unpredictable. Well, you don't ever fucking do that. Well, I did it this week, asshole. And I beat you, didn't I? Son of a bitch. Right? So, have those answers. What's your defensive philosophy, right? Chris just talked about it. When we were together, his matched mine. We matched systems. He was no huddle, right? Teams were hurrying us up, so he couldn't signal anymore. So now he just goes like this. He goes, 3. Okay. It's Mohawk 3. Boom, they look at the wristband, they're ready to go. Right? But his defense matched the offense. Right? Matches your offense, your special teams. Makes decisions during game plan. It's the same stuff. Attack versus bend but don't break. Right? Now, Chris will tell you he sends a ton of pressure, but I would also tell you we were bend but don't break. Because he did it the right way. He didn't just roll dice down the table. Because he made informed decisions on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and maybe even Tuesday morning when his game planning. So when he walked out and gave those wristbands to those kids, that's it, man. It's set. He's not making emotional calls on Saturday. Now, are we emotional as hell? Yeah. I'm out of control. All right? I'd be the first guy to tell you I hate those officials even talking at one of our meetings. That made me sick. I had to get up and leave. Man versus zone, odd versus even front. What are you? Don't be both unless you're that good. Unless it fits your system. Right? Special teams philosophy. Same stuff. Unpredictable and sound. Unpredictable but sound. Is this a point in the game where I want to go for a fake? Everybody knows on the -40 you're going for a fake. Have some testicular fortitude and go for it on the -25. That's balls. Right? Don't be the guy who plays it safe. Be the guy who fucking wins. Alright? And I'll tell you this. The Tennessee gambler mentality has served me right. It may not serve you right. I'm crazier than a shithouse rat when it comes to football. Because I look at it from a totally different direction. Because I coach 6-year-olds and I coach kin. And I've seen everything in between. Right? So, in season, strength and conditioning. If you don't lift in season, you're losing. You're going to lose later in the year. Okay, that's a college philosophy, and that is a Caldwell High School Chiefs philosophy. There's a reason that community supports football the way they do, because they know those kids are a representation of everything that goes on in that community. Once a chief, always a chief. You see a guy who's 75 years old, that's how they greet you. They say, hey, coach, once a chief, always a chief. Our kids lifted 2 days a week. Right? Mondays, Wednesdays, and then we had recovery lift on Saturday, which we weren't looking to gain, but those guys were savages, so they lifted for strength on Saturdays too. Right? This is not easy in high school football if you're playing Friday nights. It's not easy in college football because you got to give the players a day off. Right? Treatment. Get a trainer that understands the game, man. Right? Spend the money. Tell your school board, buy me someone who understands the difference between someone banging their finger and being a tackle and someone banging their finger and being the starting quarterback. There's a difference. The tackle don't need his finger. All right? Track progress in the off season and in season every 12 weeks. Right? I got to go to the Ruth Chris Steakhouse with the head coach 3 times. In the 3 cycles we drafted, I drafted the right guys every time. Because I drafted the guys who worked the hardest. I didn't draft the most talented players. I didn't draft the strongest guys. I drafted the guys who were going to show up every goddamn day. There were 5 guys on my team. We had 100% attendance. We were the only team out of 12 teams of 5 that had 100% attendance at all of our off-season workouts. Every cycle we did it. Right? Does the offense philosophy, right? The units, I mean, it's the same stuff. Unconventional. How do you tempo people, right? When you're Bates and you're playing Trinity, you slow that shit down because you don't want them to have the ball because they're going to score because they're just better than you, right? It's Jimmy's and Joe's at some points. You better slow that shit down. Let's take 47 minutes to score 7 points, right? Like literally, here you go. We run triple right, we run triple left. We run triple right, we run triple left. We ran the ball 47 times before throwing a forward pass against Trinity at home. And our slot back, because we're going no huddle, and we're going fast, because the first time someone sees the option, that's when you want to go fast, right? Because in practice, you can't practice against the option and think you're going to be gain speed in the first series. So I'm saying, we got an opportunity to score the first time we get the ball, so let's go as fast as we can. Well, it's also the first game of the season, and our most talented slot back is the fastest kid on the team, and he's still out of shape from smoking pot and drinking beers in the summer because it is the Nest guy. And I'm going to say that freely because, well, I don't have a dog in the race anymore, so it don't matter. All right? And he's looking over and he's going, "Ah, I need a blow." And I'm like, you should have smoked less pot over the summer. Run triple right, make sure the pitch back again. But you score, and now he goes and defends, makes them punt. We're winning 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Now we're winning 14-9 at the half. Now we're winning 17-9 at the end of the third quarter. And then we turned into, Cinderella after midnight, and they turned into fucking Trinity and beat us because we put the ball on the turf. And you can't give the good team the football late in the game. But be flexible, be adjustable, understand your tempos. If you know you can run somebody off the field, run them off the field quick. It's their job to coach how to not let the other team score on you, right? How do you game plan as a staff? Well, coach, we do the offense, they do the defense. Well, who are the primary defensive guys on the high school staff, and who are the primary offensive guys on the high school staff? Break it up that way, right? You got it. I can't tell you. We all got huddle, and it drove me nuts when I was at Caldwell till I said, screw it, I'll do it myself. Here I am, 49 years old, and I'm the input guy. I ain't input data in fucking 20 years. But I'm the only guy willing to do it, because those guys want to go out and drink beer and eat pizza after a win. I want to go home and fucking beat the next opponent. Because I'm hungry as shit. We're 1-0, I want to be 2-0. Right? Football to me is a drug. Right? I don't drink, I don't use drugs, I chew tobacco, and I use foul language. It's my flaws in life. I love the game. It's given me more than anything I'll ever give it. So get someone to do this. This is the shittiest job on the staff. It's also your most valuable coach. Right? Your most valuable coach. Get the reports in your hand, however you spit out your stuff, and make informed decisions. I learned this from Coach Hartman. Let the lowest ranking official in the room start the conversation about input on the game plan. So the first year, slot backs coach, hey coach, I think we should run triple. Thanks for that, right? And then take the input as you go up the food chain. Ultimately, the head coach is responsible for everything, right? I told you that. So the head coach says to me, hey, Darryl, that's really good on a whiteboard. I love it. Let's just get better at what we do. That was Coach Hartman, right? Worked out pretty good. I mean, there were a couple, Chris and Skip will tell you a couple times he wasn't at practice, and he had to take care of some administrative stuff. He wouldn't be out there, and it's like, oh shit, the cat's away. Watch this. The fat offensive mouse over there is going to play while the cat's away, right? The next thing you know, we're running motions we ain't got, and he come back and be like, what the fuck? Why are we doing motion across formation, spinning back around, throwing the ball that way? I was like, you missed 15 minutes of practice on Tuesday, so I called it. He was like, you're an asshole. But it doesn't work on Saturday. And when it did, I was a genius, right? He told me our pass game, our quick pass game, is catch, step, throw, or catch, step, look and throw. If you don't like it, boot opposite. He told me boot opposite was clinic bullshit talk. Until John Squires caught a game-winning touchdown in the corner of the end zone against Williams. Right? We pop up, we got trips to the field, and the quarterback goes, fuck. And here's John Squires naked, and Trevor goes, touchdown. I say, Coach, that's just clinic nonsense. That's bullshit. Shut up! Call the next play. I got him to curse during the Williams game. Kempy, Skip.
Absolutely.
That's fucking amazing. Take that, you arrogant pricks. I said, Coach, calm down. Call the next play. You fucking dick. I got him to curse more in like 5 years than he ever did his whole life. So game plan, right? Who watches the box? Who's watching the offense? What are the movements? The whole thing for defense. It's the same thing. I literally copy and pasted the slides and put offense and defense. Same thing, right? What do halftime adjustments look like? Here's a question. In high school football, who's communicating the adjustments to the players and how? College football, it's the same thing. It's freaking chaos. Those guys are banged up, now they're cooling down, they're getting tight. They want an orange, they want a text, they want to post on InstaFace and Snapgram, right, that they're winning. Who's got ice, who's the trainer, right? Who is talking to each group, right? So we meet as a staff. The offensive staff is here, the defensive staff is there, wherever we are, locker room, outside of locker room. We decide when we get to an away game, hey, at halftime, offensive staff is going to meet right here by this garbage can, and the defensive staff is going to meet right here next to the ladies' room. That was for Kevin. Okay? That's a ball bust on Kevin. So, everybody knows where we're going to meet. We're going to communicate. How long is halftime? 15 minutes. Well, we're going to talk for 5 to 7. Then, Coach Weiss, the offensive line coach, he's going to get his guys, and he's going to get inside, and he's going to grab the whiteboard, and he's going to talk to them about whatever adjustments. Coach Rocco's the offensive coordinator. He's the quarterbacks guy. He's going to get the quarterbacks and the skill guys, and he's going to go over it on the whiteboard. Then we're going to win the big locker room with the offense, and he's going to present it to the team. Coach Lamont's going to come in and go out, hey, fellas, 2 more quarters, go out there and do what you do. Right? Attitude, effort, toughness. 3 things you can control. It's the same stuff. Right? Know your special teams rules. Right? Know the rule book. Get a young guy, the second move, if it's the same guy that does the data, get that guy to study the rule book. Fair catch, free kick in high school football. Right? The miracle at Woodman Field in 1991, Randolph High School beat Montclair. Montclair had like 2 guys on that team that went to the NFL and played for years. And they lost to a bunch of friggin' little 165-pound kids that ran split bag beer. Because they caught the punt. Fair caught it, put it on the tee and went boop. And they beat them by 1 in front of like 8,000 people. And there's paintings around Montclair about that. It's like the Day of the Dead whenever you look at it. All right? Team and positional goals every week. Right? We all know that the ultimate goal is to win, right? Play fast, play physical, and play for each other. Control what you can control. Unit goals are set by the coordinator. Be realistic. Don't say you want to go out and throw for 7,000 yards. Right? We want to score 78 points. Know what you're capable of and give the kids realistic goals. All right? And then grade and evaluate the unit, however you do that. Positional goals set by your coach. Right? Here's one of the greatest things I picked up in my coaching career, the ABCs. Every week, every position coach should go over the ABCs in a position. So, I'm at RPI, our quarterback's got a photographic memory, so meeting with him's a waste of goddamn time. You tell him watch these clips, he's got it. He knows what it is. Kid's genius, double major, 1 in the College of Engineering, 1 in the College of Business. He flies around the country with beautiful women now. I don't even know what he does for a living, just making money. But meeting with him to talk to him about game plan, he's got it. Coach, and he goes like this. I'm like, you read that? It fucking took me 4 hours to type. You read it in 30 seconds. He's like, I'm smarter than you. I was like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. But the ABCs, right, for the offensive line, we would talk about alignment, assignment, snap count. 3 things I can control before the snap of the ball. What's my alignment? What's my assignment? Right? And what's the snap count? Because if you don't know the snap count, we're going that way instead of that way. For the quarterback, read, breathe, snap. Get your pre-snap read. Take a deep breath. Catch the fucking snap if you're in the gun. Because I can't tell you the number of times if you don't tell the guy ABC, they do this shit. Because they want to get a read post-snap before they get the ball in their hands. All right? If you're with the receivers, alignment, right? Assignment or route, and then execution, or take a deep breath, or just, decide the coverage, figure out the coverage. Is it man or zone? If I'm in motion, I should be able to know if it's man or zone. Whatever your ABCs are, go over that weekly, right? Football is not the most important thing. Go ahead. 5 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Holy shit, Skip. What the fuck? You're shitting me. I'm not even fucking warmed up. Practice structure.
Coach, that's why we bring you back to Auburn in April.
Amen. Practice structure versus activity. Nothing pisses me off more than walking into a high school football practice, seeing one guy do something and 10 guys watching. Good versus great. Come to a Caldwell High School football practice. It looks like coaching at Bates. It looks like coaching at Bowdoin. It looks like coaching at fucking USC. Everybody's ass is moving. Everybody's ass is moving. Right? That's on you. That's personal responsibility of every guy on the staff. I'll tell you this. I ain't ever walked out on the field without a practice plan and without a bunch of 3x5 cards in my pocket with all my drills. You want to know why? Not because I got to look at them. Just in case I forget. Right? Ryan will tell you, one step, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, together now. Hey, boom, boom. Okay. Now we're going to go from like 2 steps. Load and deliver, fit, finish. All right, now run it back to the beginning. Like, I've been doing the same shit for 30 years because it ain't fucking rocket science. It's just being a good football coach and being systematic about the implementation. Guys are a lot better football coaches than me. I'm just good at organization. I suck at organizing on a computer, right? You don't want me deciding on the curriculum, hence that's why I let the teachers do it, right? Structure of a practice, Monday to Friday, right? For a high school, this is what we do at Caldwell. We play on Friday nights, kids are in on Saturdays, they work their asses off, we give them Sundays off. Monday, we whiteboard them, we give them a printed copy of the game plan. They hold the game plan the way you want a college kid to hold the game plan. If you know a kid ain't gonna take that game plan and look at it, don't give him one. Don't give him one. I don't trust you enough to walk out of here with my game plan, with this team's game plan. You ain't all in. You ain't all in. And don't give me, it's punishable by 100 runs, 100 laps on the fucking track, because that's bullshit. You ain't doing that. The kid will be dead before that. All right, structure, opportunity period. That's time on the field where coaches can walk through any new stuff, right? Dynamic warm-up, indie group, run, inside, outside zone, skelly, situations, special teams mixed in through. Time on task. How much, right? 168 hours in a week. How you spend your 168 versus how I spend my 168 is where we separate average from great. Champions from teams that finish 5 and 5. Because I'm telling you, at Caldwell, you come to a practice, and it's a bunch of high school coaches coming from being mailmen, carpenters, teachers, administrators. But when they get there, there's no bullshit. We're not talking about what happened at work today. We're not talking about the girl in 3rd period who threw up. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about football. 2 hours and 15 minutes, whatever our structure is, right? The role of players, not on the first unit or the scout team, is to get them engaged. So if we're doing a team run period, we got 11 guys on offense, we got 11 guys on defense, we got slaps behind that ain't in on either one. They can be over there like this, talking to their buddy and chewing on their mouthpiece, or they can be looking over at the signal, get the play call, and if I'm a backup right guard in 10th grade that's 160 pounds and a year away from the weight room, to be a 200-pounder, I can get in my stance, listen for the snap count, and go 1, 2, and take my steps. Mental reps. Mental reps. All right? Give them that opportunity and demand it of them. Don't do it for a week, don't do it for a day. Do it every day. Because that backup 10th grader, when he's an 11th grader and he's your starter, he got 1,000 reps, just like your senior starter did during the season. Because he took everyone that kid took. All right? Only football during practice, no other talk. Coach's focus is not on effort. Don't coach effort, I don't coach how to compete. You gotta figure that out. You ain't good enough to play here, you ain't good enough to play here. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I love you as a kid, I hate you as a football player, because you stink. My favorite players are the ones that work the hardest. It's not nice for a 15-year-old kid to hear that. But I'll tell you what, you're the only goddamn man in your life that's gonna tell them that, so freaking be honest with them. Because if you're not, you're doing a goddamn disservice to society. Because you're gonna let that kid grow up and need a fucking hug. All right? Youngest to 7, I got fists, I didn't get hugged. Post-practice in the locker room, staff meeting as you're getting changed. 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes that ends up being an hour because the guys carried him into Roman. There was all in his eyeballs. Right? Because those kids played for me, I went back and coached them. They don't know any different. Right? They all played in good college football programs too. Win or loss, postseason, or post-game game plan. Head football coach, keep it short. Because you ain't as good as you were if you won, and you ain't as bad as you are if you lost. So don't say anything emotional. Hey guys, good effort tonight. Let's get the shit on the sideline cleaned up. Let's get the hell out of here. On 3 break now. 1, 2, 3 break. Boom. That's it. They don't want to listen. Because they're either going out with a girl because they won, or they're going out with the boys to drink beer because they lost. Probably both. Right? And it really don't matter. They don't want to hear it. Evaluate the film before making judgments. Remind everyone of their post-game jobs. Guys, make sure the sophomores got the water in the bags, all that stuff. No assistants speak to the media, the parents, or community members. If I'm the head coach, you want to get fired, talk to a parent after a game. All right? I don't know, go see the head coach. You're an asshole, you suck. I think you're the one that cost us the game. Go see the head coach. All right? How do you determine if a play call was efficient or not? Figure it out. Right? How many yards per play? 1 minute, for Christ's sake. All right? Make sure you do an efficiency report, because I'm telling you, as a young assistant, you run jet sweep. As a young offense coordinator, you ran jet sweep twice for 47 yards. I called it twice in the whole game. Should have called it 20 now. We had it blocked up. We had them outflanked. We could have had an easy win if I just kept running, because they don't adjust. Booster Club, I got all that stuff. Guys, there's like 30 more slides. All right. If you want a copy of this, I can share it with you. You got to write down your email, give it to me, and I'll share it with you right as soon as I'm done. I have a game planning thing that is deadly that I've learned over the years, and it was a pleasure to talk to you guys. Love to get back to Maine and see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of new ones. Thanks for having me.
We're going to talk about this later. Now look at Garrett here. We did it a year ago. We had a call Beyond the X's and O's. April 1st, we're going to have another coach's clinic in Auburn. It's going to be totally free. And like I said, it's Beyond the X's and O's. There won't be any scheme, defense, offense, whatever. It's all about the art of coaching. A lot of the stuff that Darryl went over today. Darryl's making another trip back up. We've got some other great people that are going to present. There'll be an email going out probably on Monday. I didn't want to get it confused what we're doing here. Bottom line is, we got to continue amongst ourselves to develop coaches. Okay? I had mentors growing up, like a lot of great guys back in the day. We don't have as many of that anymore. A lot of older fellas are getting out of the game. We want to try to, through our association in Madden football, help guys get better. We don't have all the answers, but we certainly can present stuff with you guys that'll help you get a little bit better. And Coach Boren's going to be involved, an extension of what he talked about earlier. There's some other really, really quality guys, and all it's going to take is 5, 6 hours of your time. We'll give you breakfast, we'll give you lunch. Listen to these two sons of bitches again. I might even say a couple of words, but there's something going out on Monday. Love to have you all. Great job, Coach. And we're getting started in about 12 minutes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, man.
Hey, anybody ever wants to talk ball, Zoom, I'm 7 hours away, but I can Zoom with you, I got all kinds of shit. Love talking the game, during a day or a moment that I'm alive that I ain't thinking the game. Even at school when I'm supposed to be the principal.
Right.
Yeah, man. Hey, I gotta show you.